Originally, I guess I wanted to be Indiana Jones or, you know, some cool adventurer. But as time went on, I realized that I feel a responsibility now to tell people about Africa and show people what it looks like, because it's so much different than our media perspective. And there are millions and millions of friendly people who are happy and joyous, and so I want to share that and tell people. And as well as that, I want to help other overlanders get out there and have these adventures, because it is possible and you can do it yourself. Yeah. So I feel like that's the reason I do what I do.
And you want to continue to do it.
Absolutely. And keep showing people what's possible.
And do you have the personality? Because there's some people who get worried at everything, and then there's some people who are like, it'll turn out. Do you have the it'll turn out?
Well, I think Africa has really helped reinforce that in me.
Yeah.
Because you realize really early on, there's no point worrying. In Africa, like, you can't control what's happening. Worrying isn't going to fix it. You may as well just grab some cold water and hang out, and the situation will take care of itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't
Day by
been
day.
to Africa, but the friends of mine that have spent time there, they've all said the same thing, that Africa changes a person.
It really does.
What is it about Africa that changed you?
The way that people treat each other in Africa is something I've never experienced before, and I want it to be a part of who I am for the rest of my life. It's such a simple thing to say, but people treat people like people every day. In every level of society and every interaction, people are just very, very kind and very polite and very generous and warm and welcoming. And it's something I've never experienced before, and I miss it every day, and I want to go back.
And as equals.
And as equals, always. Everyone. In fact, in the Congo, I was really flattered. People would always shake my hand and they would say, "En ensemble," which is we are together. And it's like, we're a team dealing with all of this that's going on, the horrible roads and the rain and the mud. But together as a team, we can all get through it, and we can all have better lives because we're together. Lights are all off the isolated one.
Right, and then the engine.
Other one is just the engine.
Just the engine, okay. Yeah, and so he's got the solar, so 200 watts of solar on the roof, you said?
That's right.
And then that's running the Dometic, all of the lights. You probably charging some electronics, phone and such.
Right.
Yeah, it's very simple. It just works.
Simple, and it works, and it's great because you can monitor right now how much solar are we making, what percentage of charge does our main battery have. So we're at 100% because we're sitting here in the sun.
So you ever have to make the decision, well, I have to sit and park and bake in the sun to charge the batteries, or you can be in the shade, right there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and as long as it gets about an hour of full sun per day, that keeps up with the fridge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I could go weeks without starting the engine and know that I had plenty of power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And a very nice, efficient system.
Yeah.
Those Optima batteries are impressive, aren't they?
They are.
They're pretty affordable. They're super tough. I've used them. They're really nice.
Those are just like 12 volt, but instead of cigarette lighted ones that are big and bulky, I just rewired everything to use little plugs.
Yeah.
Just to keep it all smaller.
Just changed it. Yeah. So this is your charging, so you can charge up your phones and all that
Exactly.
stuff there.
Yep.
And this is just a switch to arm it.
Yeah,
turn
exactly.
it on.
It'll turn the whole
Yeah.
unit off.
I did that on mine too, so I didn't have phantom power running the batteries down.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same company for the rear bumper?
Yep, that's an AEV rear bumper, and the tyre carrier as well. It's holding all the weight there.
And it's all steel.
It is.
Yeah.
It is super tough. Never had a single problem with any of it.
And this all hinges off the bumper
It's actually mounted to the frame there.
to the frame,
There's
yeah.
a spindle bolted directly to the frame, and it's beefy.
I've had some trouble, especially when you lift the Jeeps and put bigger tires on them. On the rear tire carry, it just doesn't hold up.
Oh, yeah, no.
It would just tear it right off.
Yeah, and with all the weight there, with the extra gas and everything, that's not an option.
Now, what's this? Is this fuel storage here?
So part of the AEV rear bumper is you can have water storage on both corners, and then I never actually used that.
Okay.
Because I have my own water tank, it wasn't necessary.
Wasn't necessary.
Yep.
Nice to have though if you got in a pinch.
That's right.
Yeah.
And your awning?
Yeah, so this is an ARB awning. Really nice to have for shade and the rain as well. It really makes my kitchen area livable.
Oh, yeah.
Was that something you originally came up with before your first trip, or did you find, hey, was that added on?
For Alaska to Argentina, I didn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, I want shade and I want living area.
That gives me the impression of something. I'm like, okay, when you're thinking about this trip, yeah, I'll just get inside, but it's just you need to get outside sometimes. And, have this, and it's just a bag awning, like just typical ARB.
Yep. Yeah. And the plan for the build all along was I wanted to be able to get inside to escape the mosquitoes and escape the rain, but I didn't want it to be so comfortable that I'd sit in there during the days when the weather was okay. So it is very small and it is a bit uncomfortable to be inside, but that's good because it means that I come outside when the weather's good. Yeah. And that was the plan. I want to be camping out here. I want to be cooking out here and reading a book, you know. So the inside is really like last resort when the weather sucks.
Yeah. Well, nice to have that option. Those little things matter when you're on the road, don't they? Those little creature comforts. And
yeah, and a 1 month trip, you know, you can suck it up. A 6 month trip, maybe you can tolerate it. But when it turns into 3 years, it's that kind of thing. You'll be too exhausted and you won't want to keep going anymore.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
So what would you say, what were some little psychological things that you brought that were maybe not necessary, but were just creature comforts that you look forward to having at the end of the day? Did you have some things like that?
Every now and again I would put chocolate in my fridge and even just eat like 1 square of chocolate in the evening somehow would like make me feel better about life. Like you said, having a shower it always made me feel better. And whenever, maybe once a month, I would go and buy something like a pizza or a hamburger or even French fries.
A special treat.
Special meal. And for me, like I'm a food person, food makes me happy. And so, yeah, to be able to eat a pizza, even if it was $10, it was like, this feels really nice.
Isn't it funny how those psychological mind games can help you going when life really sucks? I used to keep in the back, we'd do like a big loop on dirt bikes, 125 miles, just hard ground, I have a beer in the refrigerator in the van at the end of it. I think about that, even if it was just 1.99 beer, but just the thought of getting back to that and sitting down and drinking it kept me going.
It's kind of like heaven on earth, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It
is.
And having the fridge is so nice because it's not only cold water and food, but of course cold beer as well. So at the end of a long driving day, a cold beer in Africa is a pretty special thing.
Special treat, I'll bet.
Yeah.
So what was the strangest thing you came across in your journey? What sticks out in your mind? A perfect example, I have a friend that did the Baja, and I asked him the same question. He said, I was going down the road and there was a guy in a Toyota pickup hauling a horse in the back. You have any stories like that?
Oh, hundreds of things in the back of cars and pickups that shouldn't be in the back of cars. I saw a lot of trucks driving where I don't know if the frame was bent or something was wrong with the rear axle, but the rear axle was like a foot to the side of the front axle.
So it's like crabbing
down the road. That was always impressive. And then in Benin, they have voodoo culture there. And so it gets really odd really fast.
Dark.
So you go into the voodoo market and there's, powders and potions and then there's kind of monkey skulls and then pieces of monkeys and then dog skull and then I left. I was like, all right, I've seen enough.
That is so funny. Well, that is such a fascinating story. I hadn't heard of your story. We happened to be camping next door to you and several folks come up and said, you got to go talk to him. He's got a great story. But how could someone follow it? Did you document this on YouTube or Instagram, or what's the place that we could find the whole story?
I did, yeah, Cody. So I've got a website, Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and it's all The Road Chose Me. Is my online handle.
Okay.
And I've written a couple of books as well about my adventures.
Okay. And those are on Amazon?
That's right. They're on Amazon, and if you search The Road Chose Me, you'll find them.
Okay. I'll drop those links down in the subject of this video. I can't wait to go back and watch those videos. Did you video a lot of the trip, or?
I did, yeah. So there's a video essentially from every country. A lot of it is just footage kind of with the camera on the Jeep or me holding the camera. I didn't often sort of get out and set it up on a tripod and reverse and drive past and drive back. And some days I did that when I was feeling energetic. But definitely I did it less and less as the trip went on.
Yeah, it gets old, doesn't it?
Well, I was exhausted, there's no doubt.
So are you going to do it again?
I will do it again.
You are? Would you do the same route or same vehicle, or what would you do different?
I'm undecided right now on same vehicle. I have some route ideas, but I have nothing locked in. On the back of my shirt here, you can see the world map of where I've been.
Okay, and that's the red marks there.
Right. And there's a very big blank bit in the middle where I've never been.
I see it. I see it.
So where am I going next? Somehow, some way, I will be there.
Okay. Well, it's a great story. Thanks for sharing. I love to see the vehicle and how you set up and what it came down to. And it's the same thing. It just comes down to being simple. Simple works.
It really does.
Overcomplicated just becomes too hard and you just don't use it and it becomes a liability.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Great story. I can't wait to watch your videos.
Thanks, Cody.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks for the tour.
Thank you.